Hey everybody, thank you very much for joining us. This is another entry in the COG Summer Workshop series. My name is Billy Mitchell, and I'm going to be leading us through this workshop on intermediate data visualization techniques within R. This is sort of an extension of a workshop that we had run last summer, where we showed you basic ggplot anatomy. We'd given you templates for regressions, for bar plots, for point line plots, for multi-level modeling. And we've shown you some really helpful functions for visualizing your data for quality assurance purposes. So given that workshop, what we're going to assume with this workshop is that you have some proficiency with R and that you have some familiarity with ggplot syntax. If you don't feel super comfortable with ggplot syntax, you could take a look at the previous workshop, which we still have on our GitHub, on the COG GitHub, or you can look up a number of tutorials that exist online for ggplot. My primary goal with this workshop today is to show you how you can take those static basic visualizations that we'd worked on last time and make them more dynamic, interactive, and aesthetically appealing. So what you're going to need in order to do that is have R and RStudio downloaded. If you're familiar with R, you should know that those are going to be separate, but if you're just starting off, that might be a little confusing. Make sure that you have both of them. You're also going to need the data frame that we have on the GitHub. We have an HTML tutorial, which you're going to have open while you're going through this workshop, and then the packages that we have listed on the GitHub page as well. We're primarily going to be focusing on Shiny, Plotly, and ggAnimate, but all of the packages are going to be important for this workshop. And a question that might come up is, why are we focusing on R when there's so many other options for visualizing your data? Python has a really great visualization library. A lot of people use Illustrator to generate their plots. So why is R special to get its own workshop? And what I always say is that R offers users this integrated statistical analysis and visualization pipeline that is completely free. It's open source. It works on just about any machine that you might use it on, and it's going to be really similar across machines. So if you start on a Linux, you could still finish up on a Windows. It's endlessly customizable. If you attended our previous workshop, you saw the millions of ways you can edit a ggplot function to get it to produce an image that you want. Really, the only limitation sort of is your own imagination. I've got a few examples on the screen that I just pulled from online that look really great and really help communicate the thing that the analysis that they're fitted to. It's highly accessible. So all of our syntax is centralized onto one official R website that is really easy to navigate. It's really easy to find all of the packages that exist for R, and there are an insane number of packages that R has that supplement ggplot and also compete with ggplot. So even if ggplot has a weakness for one specific plot type, there's almost certainly another package that works really well for that plot type. And it's also well documented even outside of the official R community. So on the screen now, I've got an example of the R graph gallery, which is independently operated, and it contains tutorials, examples, visualizations of all of the visualizations that you could hope to basically ever create within R for your data. On the screen now, you should be seeing a chord diagram example. It again shows you all the different variations that exist, the different packages that you might need. It shows you an interactive example that you can create. So yeah, really, again, the only limitation is sort of your own imagination when it comes to creating data visualizations within R. Just a basic roadmap for today. So we're starting off in the introduction now. From here, we're going to go to preparing the data, loading it in, setting our working directories, all that sort of stuff. We are going to then move on to data distributions. Really, these are some things that I wish I'd included in the first workshop, but have sort of like retroactively going over them. After that, we are going to go into interactive visualizations using Plotly. Then we're going to go into animated visualizations using ggAnimate. And then finally, we're going to finish up with just a really brief overview of Shiny applications and creating reactive visualizations before we conclude for the day. So I'm very excited. Let's get started.